Well, welcome to the stage here for our next session, which is called Human First, the Tech That's Changing Lives. Now, this session is all about how tech's being used to make a real difference in people's lives, from apps that support mental health to wearable tech that helps doctors to finance tools designed to include everyone. So if you care about people and solving problems, there's a role in tech for you. Joining this session now, we have a fantastic panel on the stage who'll be chatting through some of those topics and where we go from there. And sharing our session is Lesley Williams. Lesley is CEO of Welsh Innovation Centre for Enterprise. So please welcome Lesley and our panel to the stage.
Oh, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. I'm CEO of Welsh ICE. We are a social enterprise, for those of you who don't know us particularly well. We help people to start up businesses all across Wales with a vision to build resilient entrepreneurial communities. So we do that through a blend of affordable space, inclusive events and training, and also a big, genuine, diverse community of entrepreneurs as well. So we basically bridge the ecosystem to those who are furthest from opportunity to make sure that everyone has an opportunity to start up businesses in Wales, and more people start up businesses in Wales, regardless of their background, their postcode, or their level of confidence. And I think with that in mind, you can imagine we meet a lot of purpose-driven entrepreneurs who are setting up some fantastic projects based on lived experience. And the panel that you're going to meet today are absolute replica of that as well, which is really exciting. And I think this conversation is important because we do talk a lot about innovation in Wales, but I don't think we give quite enough attention to the fact that innovation is most impactful, most purposeful when it is rooted in lived experience and empathy and inclusivity. That's when we start to break down barriers and create more opportunities for people. And again, these wonderful people are doing just that, especially in the social care sector, in well-being, and also inclusive education. So it's absolutely wonderful to be joined by these wonderful people who are not just changing lives, but also demonstrating that tech can be a force for good, not just efficiency. So, panel, hello there. So I'm going to hand it over to you now, if that's okay, just to introduce yourselves. So if you could tell us your name, the company you represent, your role in the company, and also what this means to you, what this topic means to you. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, everyone. My name is Matthew Davies. I'm the founder and CEO of The Social Work Way. The Social Work Way is a mobile platform, tech for good platform, that aims to rehumanize social work. We focus on three key areas: practice, everyday practice for social workers. We look at well-being and connections, and we look at continuing professional development. I think for me, I'm a social worker myself and have been a frontline social worker for 19 years now. So I have lived experience. I understand the challenges faced by social workers and safeguarding professionals, complex systems, complex admin, workflows that are just not workable, staff retention, staff burnout. They're all everyday experiences and continue happening. I mean, like I said, 19 years in children's services, and we unfortunately see very little change. It is improving, but a long way to go.
Oh, thanks. Hello. My name is Amy. I am the mental health lead at Hidden Strength, which is the first app of its kind to provide free therapy and mental health support for any 13 to 24-year-old in the UK, but I'm Welsh, so of course I'm here today. This means the world, purely because I've been in the situation where I was struggling with my mental health. I didn't want to talk to my mum and dad about it. And the idea of having a qualified therapist in your pocket, but also that was completely free, because I'm a massive, massive advocate of the fact that your postcode, your parents' job, your circumstances shouldn't be a reason why you can't get the support you deserve. So we are just redefining what mental health looks like. We've got our podcast, we're on social media, and it's just really normalizing the fact that it's okay to not be okay sometimes.
Hello, should I just use this? Hi, my name is Kamal. I'm the founder of My Salama, which is a company that has developed the world's first interactive prayer mat, right here in Newport from Pearl. And I'm here today because we started a new startup called My ABC Piano. And we have developed a pad that looks like a piano, but actually teaches children the Welsh language, the Welsh alphabet. I think this means a lot to me, being from Wales, and building for humans is everything that we are all about, that what I am all about. I want to make learning accessible for children. If we're really serious about getting children to learn Welsh and the Welsh language, we need to start early. We need to invite them into the language and not force it on them. And this is what this pad does. It's not like an electronic pad. It's a screen-free pad. I'm over there in the tech, in the startup section, so you can have a look at it later on. I grew up with dyslexia, and it wasn't until university that I realized that I had dyslexia. So I always struggled with kind of spelling and reading. And it wasn't until I found out that I had dyslexia that everything made sense, and it became my superpower. I'm an amazing designer, and I saw this as my kind of calling to develop a pad that will help children from a very early on. The alphabet, we've got an English one, we have an Arabic one, and now we are launching a Welsh one.
Gosh, I did say that they're amazing, didn't I? Really impressive. Thank you so much. It is such a privilege to be on the stage with these wonderful people. And I'm also dyslexic, ADHD. I got a few different spicy tones to myself, as many of us do, so I completely appreciate that as well. So let's go back, and we'll go back this way this time. So Kamal, tell us a little bit more then about that moment right at the very beginning of your journey with this business, and when you realized this was a real significant problem and that you were going to be the one to build something to solve that problem. Talk us through that.
So if I start with my salamat, I was praying one day, and my son was next to me, and he was doing one of the positions in prayer incorrectly. And I was like, I'm going to show him how to do this. And then I thought, you know, there's a tool for everything. There's a toy for everything. There's an educational resource for everything. I'm going to get him something. And I went online, and I couldn't find anything to teach him how to pray. And I was like, this is crazy. There's like 1 billion Muslims out there, you know, and Islam's been around for 1400 years. Surely there must be something. And there wasn't. And I literally developed the world's first interactive prayer mat right from my home back then when I was living in Pill. And I'm so proud today that every time we produce the product, we always write designed in Wales on the back of the box. Yeah, so that was the moment for that product that so it was lived experience. You know, I was a father, you know, I was praying, I was a Muslim, and I saw a problem that was very close to me, and I couldn't find a solution, so I created the solution. And we developed other products, and we've developed a pad that helps children learn Arabic, because we've got a lot of customers in the Middle East. We've got a lot of customers that want to learn Arabic. So we developed a pad that helps children learn Arabic. And at the same time, I thought, you know, this could be also an English pad. So in tandem, we created a pad that also helps children learn the English alphabet. And being from Wales, I wish I did the Welsh one first, to be honest. I'm a bit of a trader now. But I then thought, you know, I got to go out there. I got to develop a Welsh pad. I know it's a very niche market. I know the market might be very small. But again, we're developing for humans. We're developing for people, you know. And I don't look at how much money this is going to make. I look at how useful this is going to be for the people that are going to use it.
Absolutely. I think that true entrepreneurs, this is what we see so often. They'll see a problem. They'll be like, why doesn't someone do something about that? And then naturally, you can be that person. Any one of us here can come up with a fantastic idea that can solve a real big challenge. So really think about that next time you come to that situation. I'm just like Kamal here, and I'm sure our other two panelists as well. So Amy, how about you?
I can't say it was a problem that I noticed, because youth mental health is in a crisis, and I am absolutely perplexed. I don't have children. I'm a dog mum, so it's a bit different. My dog can't ask me for therapy or support, although he's an awful therapy dog, I will tell you that. But the average price for a young person to see a therapist privately is £55 an hour. the waiting lists are on average about 18 months. And I was baffled. And I have nieces, I've worked in education. It just made me feel sick at the fact that all across the UK, that there will be young people genuinely struggling, don't know how to talk about their feelings. And why does mental health have to be this big scary taboo? Why can't we talk about things in a way that where we meet young people where they're at? We're not doing a power dynamic. We're not fitting you into a box. It's asking, how can we support you on your terms? So that's like when the app came about. If a young person wants support, they download the app. They have to register. The average time to speak to someone is 90 seconds, and it takes you longer than that to get out of the house. So it's just all about being inclusive, accessible. The only criteria I have is that you've got to be 13 to 24. But yeah, it's just normalizing how we look after ourselves, to be honest.
Definitely, and normalizing, but also improving the system, right? Because sometimes it's not about coming up with something completely different. It's just making something better, which is exactly what you're doing, which is wonderful. How about you then? Where do you
I think for me, I'm definitely not a tech expert. I have a passion for tech. I love tech. I also love social work. I have a huge passion for social work. I started off as a support worker, worked my way through to a team manager. So I've had the experience of every part of being a social worker. And I think combining both allowed me to develop something that keeps the human interaction, the focus of what social work is. Human interaction underpins social work. Without human interaction, social work wouldn't exist. And I think sometimes we have tech given to us, we have platforms provided to us that perhaps focus on performance indicators maybe, or, you know, targets rather than what matters to social workers. And just as important, what matters to the families that we support. So I think combining my passion of tech, combining my love of social work, it's just allowed me to simplify process. It's not rocket science. It really isn't. It's just looking at what's out there and how we can adapt that to making a difference to social workers and families. And I think one of the biggest gifts we could give a social worker, a foster carer, a child looked after is time. And I think the Social Work Way app allows that to happen. We're in local authorities. There's trials being used by Foster Wales throughout the 22 local authorities. And the feedback is, it is making a difference. And I think, a bit like Kamal, it's not about financial gain. It's about social workers, foster carers, children looked after using the app. And that means much more to me than anything else.
That's really wonderful. And it's, again, another thing that we hear all too often of, you know, you do the good and the success, including the financial reward, will follow that most of the time. So brilliant example of that. And okay, so what about the development of these tech platforms then? Tell us about your experiences of that, and particularly from your own lived experiences, perhaps. So kind of carrying on what you were saying just now. Could you develop on that a little bit more?
Yeah, completely. So I guess I've experienced burnout. I've experienced a desk full of papers, rushing to my next visit, then go into my next one without having time to even reflect on what I've just spoken about. I'm lucky to share an office with fantastic social workers who also shared their lived experience. I've met some fantastic children with care experience. They've shared their lived experience. Foster carers who do an absolute unbelievable job caring for our children. They've been able to share their lived experience. So I think all of that combined has just allowed me to develop an app alongside some fantastic app developers, which is making that difference that we expected. Have we got things completely right? Absolutely not. Is the app finished? Definitely not. The app is flexible. The app is continuously adapting, developing, and changing but so is the profession. It doesn't just sit within social work as well. We've noticed that a lot of the features within the app work alongside safeguarding professionals in sport, education, the NHS, police officers. You know, it's just a wide variety of users actually using the app, which again is something that I perhaps never thought would happen to begin with. Maybe that was my naivety in starting a business. I guess I'm not a business person. I'm, you know, a social worker first. So, but yeah.
But I think that's an example as well of, you know, you have the idea, you don't have to have all the skills, and you won't have all the skills to start a business, especially a tech business, when it comes from somewhere so personal. Sometimes it's about just knowing who to ask for help and building that network so that you can ask for help, right?
And I think that was one of the biggest lessons I learned was you shouldn't be expected to know everything. Draw upon experts from other areas, app developers, you know, HR, finance, all of that, you know. And I think without the people around me, this would never be in the position where, you know, where it is today.
Yeah, okay, so Amy, how about you? Tell us about your journey with the development of this platform.
I'm not tech savvy at all. I love a TikTok scroll and maybe a reel, like that's as far as it goes. So it was kind of how can I use my story and my own experience of mental health as the next person's survival guide. And when it came to the app, I'm not tech savvy. I still stand by that. So there was a lot of power in recognizing that I'm not going to be the most knowledgeable person in the room, and asking for help is actually really powerful, and being able to say, I don't know what I'm doing here, but you do, so let's collaborate. And there's such a focus on like competition within the tech space, but I'm all about literally putting the unity in community. And I think I am a mental health expert. I can tell you all that stuff, and that's when I come alive. But it's recognizing when to hand that power over. So it was really a challenge because I wanted to use my experiences of going through the NHS services and not having great experiences and being like, why can't we put that in an app? And the idea of not getting what I wanted first time around was humbling, but it's recognizing it's for the greater good. And you and your ambition versus what can happen in reality can be very different. So having the ideas are incredible, but it's also being realistic that you can't do it all on your own, and the power in asking for help and recognizing where your skill set lies and where you can draw on it from others. And also being a woman in tech, which I know this is not what the panel is about, but even that in itself is a challenge and an ordeal. So yeah, collective community, recognizing your strengths and really owning that and being like, this is what I can do, this is what you can do. Collaborate and let's create the first ever inclusive mental health app.
Fabulous. I will have to wrap this up pretty quickly. I'm so sorry. But Kamal, please tell us through your story there.
I mean, I agree with everything Amy said. I mean, I'm lucky that I'm a product designer. I did a degree and a postgraduate degree in product design. I taught for a bit. I was a teacher, design technology, so I had that educational side of me. I was a father at that time, and then I had my lived experience. Using all of that, all of those kind of skills, I was able to put together the design and the beginnings of the product. I'd make a prototype. I made a prototype myself. I'd work with engineers in China, so we produce all of our products in China, so we work with engineers over there. So we work with experts, like Amy says, so experts in their field that will help bring this together and bring everything together. We had to work with an issue with the interactive prayer mat. We worked with 7 different translators. Then we increased it to 11 and then 15 and then 20 languages. So it was crazy. And I had to learn a little bit of coding as well at the same time. But the thing here is, whatever you're doing, if you love it, if you have a passion for it, if it's the thing that you want to do, you will find a way. I speak to lots of people and they're like, oh, I stopped doing it. Why did you stop? Because so-and-so said it wasn't good. And after like 2 rejections and then they stop, if I had done that, I wouldn't be here where I am. You know, you have to go and you have to get rejected 1,000 times before you put it down, because, you know, is it what you want to do? Is it your passion? Obviously, you listen to people and you kind of understand the market and things like that. But sometimes people don't know what it is because it's so unique. You know, and it's something that they've never seen before. Or they just might not be the right person. You know, you ask your best friend, they're going to say they love it. You know, you ask your wife, they're going to say they love it. But, you know, you got to ask the right people as well. So development happens over a long period of time. It took us over 2 years to get to a final place where we were happy and comfortable to go to production. And we just, every hurdle, you just try and find a way.
Brilliant. There's a great book called The Mum Test. I encourage you to check it out if this inspires you at all, because it's talking about exactly that, of, you know, making sure that you're talking to the right people about your ideas to get the accurate feedback that you need to learn and develop. And failure is just growth. That's all it is. It's just feedback for growth. Okay, I'm going to hand it over to the audience. Does anyone have any questions? Anything that you'd like to learn a little bit more about from our wonderful panel here doing so much fabulous work? Don't hold back. Yes, go ahead.
Shall I got it. Sorry.
Thanks. This is a question for Matt and Amy. Both the areas that you've developed your apps in and your products in are very heavily regulated, and I'm just wondering how you navigated that. That was the first bit. And secondly, just wonder if you could tell us a little bit about how you got the funding to develop the products that you've talked about today.
Do you want me to go first? So I can start with the funding. We are self-funding at the moment because I'm desperately trying to reach out to the NHS and be like, hey, we can fill a gap here, give me money. So we're self-funding, and money trees aren't a thing. So being fully realistic about that. Regulations. So we are very fortunate that through our tech team, they have experience of building medical platforms and going through Orca and having to jump through many hoops and ticking many boxes. So it's an annual process where we kind of do an MOT on the app. And then we bring people in who have no kind of understanding of what we're doing, so there's no bias, to review it. And then when it goes to Orca, which is like the NHS medical authenticator, we get a true reflection of their thoughts and room for feedback and improvement. And then we go from there.
Very similar to Amy, all self-funded. So yeah, fully self-funded at the moment. We're currently out for investment at the moment to kind of take the app to the next level. In terms of the regulations, very similar to Amy, we had to jump over hoops. We don't actually store data on the app. So, you know, that kind of solves one of the, you know, the big issues. Fully GDPR compliant. Yeah, security, confidentiality is one of our priorities. I probably had one of the scariest meetings of my life going into the first local authority, where solicitors, HR, GDPR staff, yeah, I think even the director of the local authority was also in attendance, making sure that we ticked every box. So yeah, all right.
I don't know if Kamal, did you want to answer that one as well? Yeah, anyone would like to ask any other questions? No? Okay, well, I think that we're probably due to wrap it up there anyway, but thank you, the three of you, so much for your time. I said it's been an absolute joy and a delight to spend this time with you and to hear about all the fantastic work that you're doing. You're fantastic role models as well. Please continue to do the wonderful work you're doing. To the audience, thank you for joining us. Please do follow these brilliant people. Please keep the conversation alive as well throughout the rest of the event. And it's just been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much. Diolch yn fawr.
Well, it's been a pleasure listening to you as well. That's been fantastic and so great to get all those different experiences of tech and how tech can actually make a difference to real people and how real people can make a difference and bring different experiences to tech. So thank you so much for all of that.